Yo! Good evening, everybody. Everybody, get them bees out. As you can see, I had a knot here, and we're going to try and remove the knot. Cool. There we go, and that was today's lesson, how to remove a knot from your headphones. If you'll bear with me one moment. Oh. Right. Hello. That's the important bit now. Open my my cider. That's the most important part of the evening, isn't it? Let's move this out of the way. Right, I can't remember yesterday if I did these gold bits or not, but I don't think I did. So what we're going to do, I'm going to redo them, but I'm also going to redo the gold bits that are going to have to be on here and here. We're going to do them at the same time. While we're here, we'll get that gold going. Why are these all still on here, huh? Not meant to be there. Go on, have her off. Oh, did you see that? Yeah, we're leaving the head till last. But we're going to do these gold trims. That'll keep us busy for a few minutes. Minutes, boy! And, oh, Panic Cam. If you'll like to notice that Panic Cam is back with us this evening. He's back from his death. And we're looking for the gold paint. And we're knocking everything over. Gold. Oh, excuse me, just died. Gold paint, where are you? There we are. We're going to use some Retributor armour. We're going to do all them trims. All the trims. Oh, I don't like the feel of that. No, I don't. There we go. Look at the wipey filth. Right. I hate these paint pots. Let's go. We haven't told the world that we're going to be live, have we? We best do that. Otherwise we'll get some grumpy people. Why wasn't I informed? You see that? Did the pot just shut itself? It looked like the pot just shut itself. Not shit itself. Shut itself. Right, let's begin. So what I'm doing first of all is I'm painting these trims for these metal bits on the shoulder pads. Would you like to call it a shoulder pad? I'm not sure. If there are any Titan experts out there, might be able to tell us what these are. I couldn't tell you. I would call it a shoulder pad. But, you know, you might call it something else. I like the idea of it being a shoulder pad. I think it makes sense. It's on his shoulders. It looks like your average Space Marine. Oh, talking of Space Marines and paint, I bought a copy of that Warhammer 40,000 Conquest magazine today on my way home from work. I thought, for £1.99, I can get some Primaris Marines, or 3 of them, and 3 crappy pots of paint. And then I got it home, and they were legit full-size pots of paint. And I was like, hey, this is a bargain. I thought they were going to be like mini pots. You know, like the little trial sizes, but they were full-size pots. So there's like 3 pots of paint there. 3 Primaris Marines, and a poster, which we'll ignore, and a starter brush, which we'll ignore because it's probably the sort of thing that would alter bits. But the 3 paints, what are they, like $2.50 a pop nowadays? That's $7.50, and it's colours I'll use as well. Retributor armour, which we're using here, so that's handy. So that was the moment I thought, do I carry on buying this? I mean, it's £7 every other week, I think. But if it goes on for like 100,000 weeks, it's got a lot of junky models in it, I thought. It's got things like the old marine bikes, no one really wants them. But I would like all the new Primaris. If it was all Primaris stuff, I would have probably bought it. I mean, the scenery is quite good in there as well. Oh, what do I do, world? Do I just say bugger it and subscribe? Sadly, I'm not really a rich man. Anyway, that's that part is now repainted. So we'll move on to the next one. I think it looks alright. I mean, when we get them on there, that should look quite good. I don't like this glossy effect. It looks like egg. But when we hit it with the old varnishes later to put the decals on and our oil wash, you know, it'll knock that right back. Because then we'll put a matte varnish over the top again to seal it all in. Because things that are matte always look much better than things that are gloss. I don't know why that is. Gloss always looks cheap to me. I don't know why. There must be some psychological reason. Maybe gloss stuff is cheaper to produce than matte. I don't know. If there are any textile experts out there, can tell us why gloss looks less desirable than matte, then I'm all ears. I would love to know. But now painting again. I'll reiterate that we're painting the gold trim on the Warlord Titan's shoulder pad. Or shoulder pauldron. We've got that little bit of brush hair sticking out that keeps interfering. I want to tweezer it off. I've got a funny feeling I might do more harm than good doing that. There it is. Ah! It literally came off in my finger. Crazy. So what has everyone been up to today? Please let me know. I'm hoping for a nice big long session this evening. I want to get a lot of this done. I mean, we've got till around 7:30 PM. Maybe longer. We might have till around 8 o'clock if we're lucky people. Right, there we go. I'll just put a little banded along the top there. So that is the gold trim on that one done. I mean, it's not hard to paint, it's just a bit time consuming. I don't even know if is it picking up on the old camera. Please always let me know if you can't see what I'm doing. I'm probably going to extend the legs on this setup a little bit, so that way you can see more of what I'm doing. I think that'd be enjoyable for all. I might have some parts that suffice down there. All the gold paint that accumulates in a brush. More than you would imagine. Doesn't taste very nice. But I don't think it'll kill you. Right, let's do these. These are the little shields that go onto the front shoulder pad on the Warlord Titan there. So this Warlord Titan is going to be Legio Ignatum. If you guys are painting them, I'd love to know what Legios you're doing and why. And as always, please send me pictures. I love to see everyone's work. It always makes mine look worse. I do love that blue colour. It's very snazzy. I think when we do the secret Rainbow Warriors project, we'll use this blue. God, that might be what I use those Primaris Marines for. To start the Rainbow Warriors project. There we go. That is a done deal now, isn't it? That is a done deal. So that one has had his first layer. Got to work out what's next after these. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Yeah, we've got the arm guards to do. The missile launchers. We can do the guns as well. If we finish this lot off, we'll work on the missile launchers next, I think. Oh no, the guns are next in the instruction manual, so I like to follow it by order, apart from the head, of course. The head we're going to do at the end. I need to pop in the shop and buy some Lamenter's yellow for the head. I think that's the way to go with that. Yeah, they don't take long at all. Quite a nice simple task actually. It's quite therapeutic painting around the Titan shields. Just around those edges. Now we've got some bigger edges on these. I might separate these out into individuals. So I'm going to roll this up. Make a little worm on there like that. And then you should be able to... No, it's not a big enough worm. We need a bigger worm, please. Bigger worms are required. So we'll make a bigger worm. There he is, a big dirty worm. You know, look, there we go. And you can sit astride there like a little shield. It's like a little snail, isn't it? Lovely. Now we need another one. I'll see what we've got down here. Here's a piece. Now we just need some blue tack. I've got no end of blue tack lying about. I did splurge on a new packet of blue tack, I will admit. And I think I may have paid about £1 for it. And that, we're talking big money. We are talking big money. So anyway, let's make this worm, and then we'll let the panel sit astride the worm, like so. Now we shall continue on our quest. Paint the gold trim on the Titans. What is this? Arm guard? Elbow pad? I don't even know what you'd call this. And of course our deadline for this, well, our soft deadline, is Friday, a week's time. Because on the Saturday there will probably be a Reaver Titan appearing in the room. which we would then like to move on to. I've always struggled with painting gold ever since I was a small child. Painting my first Space Marines. But I think it's because gold paints were always a bit rubbish, to be honest. But I have to admit, oh dear, oh that's right. I have to admit this Retributor armour really covers nicely. I haven't had any problems with it. If anyone said to me, what is a nice cover in gold, I would say Retributor armour. They said, what is a bad cover in gold, I would say the old shining gold. That was atrocious. For me, anyway. I mean, some of you guys probably were good with it. Me, myself, terrible. Hey, hey, hey. I don't know if you can see this here on palette cam. But palette cam is back with us today. So what happened yesterday was palette cam decided to disappear. Well, he didn't disappear. He wasn't there to begin with, and I hadn't even noticed. And then when I did notice, I tried to figure out what was wrong with him. And we crashed the stream, unfortunately. We had to restart. Well, that was alright. Don't know if you can hear that outside. Someone dragging... Sounds like they're dragging corpses down the road. Oh dear, look at that. Let's get that off in a hurry. There we go. That's what we call a rescue there. I don't know if you saw that. I'm going to lick that again. It's nothing more annoying than getting paint where you don't want it, but if you're quick, you can wet it and get it off almost instantaneously. But there's no real problem there, so we'll continue on. That might have been because I was harping on, and I was telling you a story, of which I don't remember. I don't remember what the story was that I was telling. I'm sure someone out there does. Paint the inside of the rim. I'm not going to paint the inside, just the edge as it were. You can probably see that. I saw the game preview trailer thing for a game coming out called Cyberpunk 2077 or something it was called. I thought that was very intriguing. It's gone on to my list of games I would quite like to try. I don't know what anyone else is thinking. Okay, so that is our trim trimmed up. Oh, other things we need to get on the shopping list. We need to buy some Tamiya thin masking tape. This pen is knackered. Thin mask. And I believe some Game Air gunmetal. Oh, and Game Air white. Because the normal Vallejo white. So things that are on the definite list are that, and that. They're the three things I must purchase. We may run into trouble, and no one wants to run into trouble. Right. Next up, we're going to do a wash. And for our wash, we're going to wash these. These are our special parts. We're going to use a magic wash. We're going to put a Seraphim Sepia wash over our already painted gold. I call this the magic trick. It makes your gold look a bit older and dirtier. I mean, you could have a nice bright gold, but I never seem to paint things nice and bright. They always have to be a bit dingy and manky. Who doesn't like a bit of dinge and mank in their life? So what we do is we just plop it on. There we go, and we'll see that sepia is enriching that previous gold. And this is when someone says, look out, that's not sepia, you've used the wrong wash. And I say, no. I have to double check, but it is the right wash. I mean, anything that pools will just look like dirt by the end of this, so I'm not too worried. So things on the shopping list that we have to buy. Got a big wash brush on the shopping list because when we were painting the Titan's skeleton, we had to wash it, but we found that our wash brushes weren't quite big enough, and I had to use a big base brush. So I'd like to acquire a big wash brush just to make that a little bit easier for future sessions. There we go. That has had its sepia wash. Now that looks much more pleasing to the eye, I feel. I'm just going to put some knobs on his bobs. Sepia wash on gold always makes it look just so much bit more lovely. And then we'll do this piece as well. We'll come around the edge. You don't want a lot. It's almost like you're using it as a glaze. I just heard someone come in. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was the old ghost. There we go. We have all that done. I'm just going to wash the top there. Wash around it. Oh, we must do around the edges to blend in those old highlights and things. There we go. And we just knob the bobs, tap the knobs on the bobs. There we go. Quite simple. I'll go around the edge. Oh, I did it. I didn't think I'd done it, but I have. So I'm happy. So that piece is now done. I don't know if you can see that. I'll hold that up to the camera over here. But those jagged lines were a pain, and they're still not right because they're far too thick. They should have been about half the width of that, but you know, you learn, don't you? The next time they will be half the width. So now we have a little drink break. Next up, we've got to put a wash on these gold trims. Now, because this is the stage 1 wash, it's a bit nippy in here today. I'll have to bring the old heating on. Or I could put a jumper on. Yeah, so, oh, what I could do is I could make a little holder. And you'd be able to see what paint I was using here, wouldn't you? Let me see if that shows up. Let me just see if that shows up. It'll be quite interesting. No. Is palette cam actually on? It looks like it's frozen. What's going on with palette cam? Have a look. That's a picture. Hold on. Well, that really is very strange. I really cannot understand why palette cam has froze. This webcam is going to have to get binned. It's literally froze as a picture. I wonder how far it got. It looks like it's still red. I don't know. Bugger palette cam boy. Anyway, so continue on. We're going to use, we better add that to the shopping list. We are adding a webcam. Does that keep jamming up? And we don't know why. So in Make a Wash, we use 2 parts Drucky Violet to 1 part Agrax Earthshade, and we give them the big shake and bake. The Samba de Amigo. There we go. And we'll mix these. Must be to do with that cable. Got to be something weird to do with that cable. Anyway, move that over a touch. There we get our purple. Use 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squirt in the dirt, and then we use our Agraxing Earthshade. Mind the other pot. We're going to use 2 drops. 1, 2. Give it a squirt. Clean out the squirter. We use a pipette for doing these wash mixers, by the way. Always handy to have a pipette on standby. Well, it doesn't look very good there, does it? Oh well. Right, we give that a stir with our cheapo wash brush, and now we add the wash. Come around, see? It's done us a lovely shade on that gold. I'm starting to think maybe I should have done 2 coats of that gold. But it's going to kind of get that anyway. So there's 1 done. We work our way down here. We'll do the red shield. Just line that wash around the edge. Try and give them nubs a bit of wash as well. Quite difficult, they're quite shallow nubs. They don't really want to pick up the wash. We can cope. I mean, when we come in for our highlight, I'll highlight those in reverse, as it were. I don't know the word for reverse highlighting. Shading. That's it, shading. I do know the word. I'm a retard. So now, come down here. Let me wash down. There we go, that one is done. And there we go. So now we're going to have to wait for those bits to dry. Those bits still aren't dry. We can't do that yet. Right, so next up we're going to put those wet parts off to the side. That's our yellow palette, isn't it? That can live on there. I wonder what happened to Palette Cam while he fried and died. I'm going to kill him. I bet this crashes it again. No idea. Last time we did that, we did kill the chat. I don't know why it's just taking a picture though. That is very strange. So we will move these parts to the side because they're still wet. But they're done. They can bugger off. These bits are drying so they can live over there. And apparently after this stage, we're leaving the head till later, it would be your arms. We can do the weapons. The weapons should be quite fun. So we'll paint red inside here, and then we'll see if we've got any cables and things like that to do. Is that still wet in there? Fascinating. This is something else. But yeah, this shouldn't be too hard. We're now going to paint the red. I just want to check my reference picture to see that it should be red. Let's have a little goosey. Where are you? Yes, red is the colour. Get some red in there. So we're going to use dark vermilion or vermilion oscuro. Anyone knows what that means? I don't like the way that this paint seems to have a split flange. Oh, it is cracked there. If you can see that. And crack my flange there. But the paint still comes out alright. However, I have got it all over myself. It's a bit of a pain in the Anal passage. We can sort that out. Right, that's done. We get a touch of the old water. Dinner a touch. It's a shame you can't see this. That pallet cam has let us down and died again. I'm going to get my size 4 here. I'm not sure that's thin enough. There we go, and we'll paint these bits in. I think last time we put a lot of black, not wash, what's the word? Oh, I don't remember. Oh, it doesn't matter if we go over the edge because we're going to retrim that in gold, aren't we? So yeah, it doesn't matter if we go over that edge. Luckily these are nice small panels, really, relatively speaking. They shouldn't be a lot of trouble. Has this one got... yeah, it doesn't have the red line up it. Interesting build style there. So that's those two done. I want to fill that detail in. Paint is a bit thin now. Typically, you go one way to the other. Almost like we're staining the colour on. It would have probably made more sense to use one of the Citadel base colours to do this, but you know. I insisted on this colour. If you can use a Citadel base colour, always do is my advice. Right, you'll have to excuse me, I'm going to have to get the old hairdryer out. There we go. Right. Put another coat on. We'll put another coat on, then we'll hit it with the black wash. We'll just aim for the what's the word? The recessed areas. I don't actually think that goes in there, you know. I think I'm barking up the wrong tree with that. But hey ho. There we go, there's 2 coats. And now I'm going to give it a wash, I think. And what we could do is come in and re-gold out those other panels. Are these right yet? Yeah, we can stick these on. We can actually attach a couple of panels. But let's get these washers on. Gonna give them a hose. The quicker it dries, the better for me. Right, we're going to use black wash, isn't it? There we go. Null oil. This is the one we need our stick for. That was weird. What's this lid from? My red. Why is my lid off my red? There we go, so I'll gunk this into the red. Filling up all those passages nicely. And this will probably take about 3 weeks to dry. There we go. We have washers on these sections. So in the meantime, we can go back to these parts here. Well, actually, what I'm going to do, we've got some reds to highlight, haven't we? On these 2 parts here. So we're going to highlight those first. So we do size 2. We want our red. We like it nice and thin. It looks like a raw saw. But because we've painted it watered down, should look pretty good when it dries. That's given us a base for our highlight. There we go, old Panicam is dead. He's dead now. Right. I'm going to use some orange now. We need a touch of this. We'll drag that down there. There we go. Got some highlights in. Those bits are highlighted. Alright, next up we have a drink. We are going to do some gluing up. Let's attach these panels. Now that they are ready. There we go. And we have another panel. We are on, and somehow I've got lucky and the pattern matches. From the top it looks very interesting. I'm really quite pleased with how this is coming out actually now. Originally I was a bit concerned, but I don't know if you can see him there. There he is. Looking happy. I'm happy. Right, what's next? Got to repaint the gold. Check my reference picture. Okay, so the red one goes on his yellow and black side, so we'll do the red one. Actually, we can do the blue one because the blue one won't need a lot more work. But the yellow one, oh, we've got to get busy. This is interesting. Putting some very small gold bits between here. Don't know if you can see that. So there's that one done. There we go, it's them two done. That one is now done. This is when we find out the wash still isn't dry, so we can't attack these weapons yet either. That means we'll move on to the shoulder mounted weapons for the old Warlord Titan. That's interesting. Let's see what it does. We've got a bit of choppiness. Maybe. Who knows? I'm not 100% sure what's happening there. Right, so those bits are all done. They're ready for their magic wash. This guy, kind of done. He can go out the way. And next up will be then, let's get these guys painted. I think a lot of that, just have a look at the old artwork, how they painted this. Yeah, they've gone for the old gold missile launchers. Brick. They've trimmed them in that colour. Yeah, that's a trim. And that is a trim. But that's all trim around there. That's trim. All that other stuff, I mean metal. Maybe we can do that quite easily. Right then, let's get painting the metal. I mean, the only things that are not going to be metal, these pistons are going to be metal. These missile launchers, we'll do the inside there metal. These things will be metal. Everything else will be red and gold. Get a trim on there. Yep, pretty simple I feel. Quite a complicated little part actually. Right, let's do a metal mix. We'll use our old standard metal mix 1:1. One, two, one, two. I've got wipe off. Okay. Get metalizing. Whee! There you go. All the inside of this is going to be metal. I don't know what colour we're going to paint them missile tips now. Because if the missile launcher is red, we need something contrasting with that, don't we? I think red will be the go-to, easier way to do it. Can't think of another colour that'll go well on there. At least the red will look right. And I'll try and paint down this gashy bit. Luckily it doesn't matter if we get paint on the inside of this, because that is all going to be trimmed up with gold later. So we can make a mess here. It's nice when you can make a mess. And what else can we do in silver? Oh, chuck them on the floor. We can do these engine-y bits. Venty things, engine-y bits. Don't know what you call them really. Exhausts. There we go, that's that one done to that stage. I mean, I want to do the bottom, but I want to be able to hold it, so I'm going to let that paint dry. I think I should actually move my silver to 2 to 1. Yeah, because I'm not convinced this is dark enough, you know. But what I'll do is I'll paint it all silver. Give it a wash and we'll just highlight the edges. Hey look, hairs! That's not a pair of pliers. I don't know if you can see that. I've got hairs in the bottom here. Oh, they're gone. I hate hairs. Hate hairs in the paint. One of my pet peeves, that is. Did I do the outside of the other one? No, not really. There we go. Need a bigger brush for this bit, but use a lot of paint. I should probably paint a bit of detail on whatever this shuriken-y looking thing is. Look, I put my finger in it somewhere. Question is, where? This is why I hate painting all around the back of stuff. Has anyone ever had an Eccles cake? can we get coverage with the rest of our paint? What's that? It's fluff on there. Wondered what that was. Very strange. There we go. Wow, we are whizzing through. These guys can bugger off out of the way. They're ready later. Takes a long time for that wash to dry. Don't know what went on now there for the bits. Those washers are dry. They're ready for their red repaint, but in the meantime we can put our magic wash on these golds, and these parts are done. First we should have a little drink. I want that grey paint now. Oh, they chucked it across the room. There we go. Oh, did I do the edges? No. Right, we need another picture. Right. We need the old red. This is like a translucent colour. Cool. I think my brush is too big for this. I think I brought out a big boy's brush when I really wanted a small boy's brush. How are we looking? I think we need another coat on there. You'd start the clock. Ah, Mr. Bannockburn. Which parts? The guns? What is going on here? Unfortunately, my red paint isn't as opaque as I would like. Ah, the red parts. It's not too bad. These seem quite therapeutic. I'm really not looking forward to finishing off the missile launchers. I don't know why. It just seems like they're going to be a lot of hard work. It's that song again. Everybody else seems to know what it is, apart from me. Masking was hell on the... Whereabouts did you mask? Which bits did you mask? Sounds like a right pig of a job. I'm going to do one more layer of this red. Then we'll get the old highlighting orange out. Ah, stripes. Are you Ignatum as well? I decided to do the base bit of mine metal where it spins on the carapace. Sounds like you've coloured yours. That's probably the way to go. Ah, Tempestus. I always get asbestos. Tempestus mixed up with Astorum, the other blue one. You don't see many Tempestus. Are they Stormlords? Aha! Mechanicum. I've read the Mechanicum book. I haven't read the Titanicus novels. What are they like? Are they worth reading? So I'll use up the paint I've got left on my brush. Right, let's whack on with a highlight. Whack on, crack on, whatever you want to call it. Where's my butt wipes? If anyone has a good way to clean your brush, then I am all ears. Oh, it's Dan Abnett, is it? Did not know that. What's filth coming out of this brush? These brushes are dying very quickly. They don't normally die this quick. Palette cam is dead. Don't know why palette camera is dead. He is definitely not showing up. One day he'll come back. Maybe over the weekend. Now that silver is dry, so we need some orange. What other colours do people shade their reds with? Highlight. Bit too orange this, I feel. Here we go. I've got no little palette thing to wipe on. That was weird. That's what I was looking for it. My lighting is funny. I can't quite see where this highlighting is going. I've got to do the old hope and pray method. There we go, it's come out alright. And we'll do the other side. Easy. There we go. And we just need a touch of white in there for the sharp corner. Actually, I'm going to have another layer. Pure orange. Reavers are on the list. I think they go live for pre-order this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? You might know. But I should only get the one, I feel. Two for now. What's your plan with them? I just worry about buying one and then they'll release some awesome upgrade kit later on, so which means I'll have to buy yet another one, so I feel like I'll wait. I'll just do the one release, and then if something good comes out later, I can get a second. Warhounds, however, that might be a double. I think they are 2 to a box. If I actually make the second one, there's a whole other deal. Complete weapon options. So we're getting all the options, are we, with the Reaver? That would be handy. I definitely want to do melter cannon and fist, if it's called a melter cannon. A Titan-sized melter gun. Yeah, I took the plunge on the old Grandmaster purely for the fact that I thought, you know, I might as well have everything. I saved one of the Warlords for later, and a set of 3 of the Knights for later. Who knows when the add-on stuff for those will come out. If it comes out like Blood Bowl does, it should be quite quick. And Necromunda, they're whizzing through their stuff, aren't they? None of this waiting 3 years for some upgrade. Don't know if I've done that side. Oh, that'll have to do. Turbo lasers, are they the long one on the top? The javelin throwers. White. You say you airbrush. What paints do you use to airbrush with? Right, there we go. Let's get technical. It's not thin enough. Whoops. I just highlighted in the channel, that's alright. That's what the oil wash will sort out. Welcome to the clothes show. This week, David Bowie. There's a bin liner for a dress. Right said Fred, show us their outfits from the new music video. And Boy George buys a waistcoat. That'll do. I don't know if that even shows up on camera. Yeah, I'm intrigued as to what airbrush paints you use. Oh, hello. The timer's going off. Ah, it's vibrating through the table. Stop. That means we've got 20 minutes left. There we go. That'll do me. Because I am easily pleased. I say that'll do me and then I carry on. Still had to be thinned. Which Vallejo white do you use for airbrushing? Do you use the Game Air model range, or... So I find my Vallejo white, which is this one, it's the model colour white, gunks up the airbrush a good, and it literally turns like PVA stringy stuff. So I'm trying to find an alternative. Maybe I should try the Model Air. I think you can see it. You can see my water pot here. This white line, I don't know if it's showing up. That's like stringy bits out of the airbrush. And all that is mixed in with Vallejo standard thinners. Yeah. Sounds like I should maybe try the air white. I'll pick some of that up at the weekend. I mean, I'll get on alright thinning out all the other colours. Yellow is a hard one to find as well in Vallejo. If you've got a you've got a recommendation for a good Vallejo yellow, then I'm all ears. Avaland Sunset. Do you not find this a little bit ochre-y? I like something like just the Imperial yellow, but this stuff just doesn't cover at all. Hello, Mr. Brooks, how are you? Lamenter's yellow, that's what you're talking about, isn't it? So you airbrush on Avaland Sunset, glaze with Imperial, or layer with Imperial, and then Lamenter's yellow over that. Does that sound correct? Yeah, I'm pretty good, thank you. I'm alright. We're nearly done. We're getting there now. All I've got to do is some gold trim on these guns, and they're done. Those arm bits are done. No, they're not. I'm lying again. Yeah, it's a bugger if you've got a big area for that yellow. I was hoping there'd be a good... what colour is that? It must be Imperial. The Armageddon terrain. Oh, the old... oh, I can't remember. Sector Mechanicus, is it? Or whatever it was called. Right, what else can we do? I might as well start doing my gold trim. I've got a free pot of Retributor Gold today with my... what's it called? The magazine thing you can get that I bought today. No, I'm not going to wash that black. Yeah, I know what you mean. The old Sector Mechanicus stuff. Yeah, have you bought your copy of Conquest? That's the name of the magazine. I knew it would come to me eventually. I knew that would happen. Stick my thumb in the wash. Disgusting. There we go. Right, let's wash this mofo. A big old brush. What's this? It's a bit too big. And bought magazines. No, I didn't buy it for the magazine. It's the I think it's $1.99, and you get 3 paints: the base black, the base ultramarine blue, and retributor gold, and 3 Primaris marines for like $1.99. So I figured, hey, it's worth it just for the gold paint. I have some Primaris marines to test paint jobs on now later on. What was I doing? Yeah, it's not bad. There's a whole subscription you can get coming out. Apparently you get like £1,000's worth of stuff for about 600 quid over the months. But people more intelligent than I have done all the maths on that. I'm trying to find a good wash brush that isn't going to stitch me up. I had one here somewhere the other day. No, right. Oh, there it is. I have literally had it sitting here the whole time. However, I can't reach it. That is the thing with all the snap fit models. But there's a few other things in there, like rhinos and stuff down the line, so unless they're doing snap fit versions of those as well, that'd be interesting. How expensive what things are? Those magazines? Yeah, I don't know why they're so expensive later on down the line. That's I always like the idea of that build a DeLorean, the time machine from Back to the Future. It gave you like a 1/6 scale DeLorean. I thought that would be well good to have. But after a little bit of maths, you realise it's about 6 million issues at £10 each. Like, yeah, that's going to cost 60 million at the end of it. To buy your own DeLorean for that. So I passed. If it's a working time machine, that would be pretty good. But I think this 40k one is meant to come in a whole lot cheaper than retail, so actually a good deal if you want half the stuff that's on the box. I think it's a lot of Primaris stuff, some normal marine stuff, and oh, what are the dirty chaos? Nurgle. It's all Nurgle. Alright, Mr. Brooks, take care. We shall see you soon. Have a nice evening. I don't know how much longer we've got left. Got another 10 minutes. I might be able to get this wash complete. Tempted to wash it and just leave it. But that would be very unprofessional of me. When you start getting to an end of a project, you're like, what corners can I cut to get this finished earlier? There we go. Those two are washed. Bit of drill down the end. Okay. Then washed. We have 10 minutes. In that time, we could stick our bits on. Those are finished. They can go out the way. And these are finished and they can go on. So let's get them stuck on. You see that bug? That's our local tyranid operative. He comes and goes. He's nearly here nearly every day, to be honest. I didn't think he'd show up, he's so small. Right, let's glue this little knob on. So we'll get these two shields glued on and I think we're done for the night. So this is the red shield for this side. There we go. Go away, bug. I don't want to injure him. Make me feel bad. You're not coming up a ride, dear. Thank you very much. That geometric pattern, that was a pain in my arse. It should have been half the width of that, to be honest. But, you know, I prefer this blue panel. Makes me wish I should have done a blue one. But there you go. I think that will do. Ah, visiting kids. What is it like? All the neighbourhood children turn up. Yeah, we haven't got too much left to do now. But he's alright. He looks alright, I think, so far. I'm quite happy with it. Did make me think if I should have painted these armour panels or these generator things on the top. Is everyone else painting theirs? The next we'll have to... Is that wet? No, I don't know. We'll have to paint the armour bundles on here. We've got to do this gold trim. Doesn't look too hard because that seems to terminate there. Neighbourhood kids. Why are they a horror? What are they doing? Oh, hold on, we have an incoming phone call. Hello?
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 Hi, I've got the poly.
Hello? You're live to the world.
Oh, I don't want to be live to the world. I'm just calling to let you know that Polly's eaten. What do you want for dinner?
I don't mind. Do you want to get some rolls and I'll fill them up? Yeah? No. Oh.
Hello?
Oh, something's happening. Hello?
Hi, my Bluetooth has turned itself off.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so what do you want for dinner?
Do you want to just grab some bread rolls and we'll fill them up?
Bread rolls?
Yeah.
And just like have some chicken in it or something?
Yeah, that'll do, won't it?
Alright then, I'll do that.
Alright then.
Alright, bye then.
See you in a few. Bye bye.
Are you going to put the chicken on?
Yeah, I'll go start cooking.
Alright then, bye then.
Bye.
Bye.
So, with that phone call, that is going to have to conclude our painting for the evening, as I have to be a chef for the rest of the evening. They're loud enough to hear over the headphones playing metal music. They are loud, children. Can you not shut them in another room? Keep them away. Put them in the basement with some padded walls or something. I think that's called a cell. But anyway, it was an honour and a pleasure to have you this evening. I don't know when we're going to be back. It's going to be a weird one over the weekend. But at the latest Monday, maybe Sunday, maybe Saturday. They're on the street. I hope they're not playing in the road. And you, sir, but take care. And thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you later.